Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Samp&Chance. We are 2 days away from the biggest fight in boxing in a long time. I won't say it's the biggest fight ever, but it's the biggest fight we've had in a long time. Guys, I'm Bobby Sampson, joined as always with me, my man with the master plan, Mr. Chance Michaels. Chance, happy Thursday, brother. 2 sleeps away. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. How about you?
I can't complain, man. It's like I said, we're getting close. It's almost time. A huge fight coming up here.
I'm surprised this fight's pretty hyped. There's no belt on the line too, but because there's young guys in their prime, there's no belt on the line. But it almost feels like a title fight because they're young, they're in their prime, but there's no belt on the line.
Well, there is no belt on the line. They're fighting at 136, which is a catch weight. I mean, there's so much here to dissect
Garcia
before
was
we get
sorry,
into it.
Davis was smart. He put in a 10-pound rehydration clause because he knew if Garcia can't fight over 146, if he comes in, because he knew Garcia would come at 150, 160, he's a bigger man, so it was smart for Tank to do that.
Um, well, one can
Because
argue
Tank's a
he's
little guy,
smart.
right?
Well, here's the thing, man. All right, let's get right into it with that comment. I personally think that the Tank and his team, there's a part of them doesn't feel that they can beat Ryan without all these restrictions. To be honest,
Absolutely. That's what
I'm
I'm
just
getting
saying
at.
this. All I'm saying is because let's not forget he fought Mario Barrios at 140 with no
Mm-hmm.
dehydration clause. So Mario must have walked into that match, and he's bigger than Ryan,
Probably 160.
right? So there's a sense, I think, of intrepidation on behalf of his team to
Mm-hmm.
put all these restrictions. I mean, you're throwing a guy off at every avenue that you possibly can. And
Absolutely.
and take nothing away from Ryan here, man. The guy conceded to every single demand and request that he just wanted to fight Tank.
Tank is taken from the Floyd Mayweather playbook. Stack the deck, make these demands to give yourself that major advantage. But Garcia said, "Okay, I'll meet you there. Let's go." Yeah, I
Right.
see. Did you see Garcia's entrance today at the MGM?
You know what? I've saw a little bit of it. I was
Yeah, he
at
came in
work.
with it. He's looking good. He came with a hair slick. He had a
Yeah,
tracksuit on.
No,
He
he
had the
looked.
chest. He had it open. He had the cross necklace coming on there. He brought a
Yeah.
kid on there, cancer patient
Oh, that was
who's
earlier this week. That was
yeah. So
earlier
it was
this week at
yesterday.
the
Sorry,
grand
yesterday.
entrances, right? Yeah. No,
Yeah,
that
he brought the kid on
the
there. He
concert.
gets to
Yeah,
see him
yeah,
fight, so that was cool.
No,
He's
today
looking good.
then.
He looks confident. He sounds confident.
Well, I mean, I've been listening to a lot of interviews today just to kind of, just get more information and more intel for this particular episode we're doing here. And, I'm just listening to him and I'm telling you, man, it's early in the show, but I'm going to go with Ryan. I'm going to say it now. I think Ryan will beat him. I just do. I just have a feeling that with everything against him and, granted, he hasn't fought since July, right? After that Fortuna fight, he destroyed him 3 knockdowns in the 6th round.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but for both these guys, I don't think either one of them have ever fought someone of their capabilities,
No, they haven't. They haven't. This is
right?
their first time.
So this is the first time each guy is actually fighting someone of value
Yeah, on their level. Yeah.
on their level, right? So that's a telltale thing. And if this weekend, I'm going back to the Joyce Zhang fight, if this weekend showed me anything, it's like you can go through all the competition. And I'm not saying Zhang's someone to, be worried about, but now you have to be worried about that guy because he dominated Joyce,
He did.
destroyed the juggernaut, right? Like he
Mm-hmm.
left him helpless. Like you wasted a training camp. You didn't show up at all, man. You stayed at the gym.
They
I
thought
don't,
Zhang would be a stepping stone to the Joshua's and Furies, but he had another thing coming. Just kept hitting him with a straight left, and you couldn't stop it.
dude, he's never fought a southpaw. Now we know how good he can be against a southpaw. No wonder they've kept him
Zhang's a
away
big
from him.
guy, though, man. He's way bigger than Joyce.
But
He's
he's
huge.
40. He's in his 40s. I'm not saying it in a bad way. Don't get me
Mm-hmm.
wrong, but I'm just saying it just shows you the acumen that Joyce has when it comes to fighting a southpaw.
Mm-hmm.
He was a novice.
I think we've overrated Joyce a little bit too. Now he's kind of come back down to earth a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm taking nothing away from Daniel Dubois or anything like that, but I mean, at the end of the day, like, I don't know. It just an eye opener because we're going into this fight now where, yeah, they fought some guys like Isaac Cruz and stuff like that. And because of fighting those guys, Isaac has got an ego now. He's
Mm-hmm.
choosing fights he wants and whatnot,
Yep.
right? Like, I don't know. I'm really curious to see how this plays out. Let's go from the beginning here. We know Tank's a slow starter,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm thinking Ryan, he has to capitalize on those 5, 6 rounds. Like, what will happen if it goes into the 6 and it's 5-1 Ryan in the rounds? You know what I mean? Is that when Tank's going to come to life? Like, I mean, I don't.
Absolutely. They'll start
So
turning it up.
he'll start turning it up, but I don't know if he can get the same results that he normally would have against someone else.
Well, if Tank can fight him on the inside, he's going to knock Garcia out. Garcia's got to use his size and his reach and keep him on the outside. If Garcia can do that, I think if Garcia's going to win the fight, he's going to win by decision. If Tank wins it, he's going to knock him out probably 10th round, 11th round.
That's fair
Because
enough.
Garcia's never been hit as hard as Tank can hit. Tank can hit hard. He's a little guy, but
Yeah. And Garcia's never been hit as hard as Ryan can hit, right? So I mean, it goes both ways. I think what you're going to see is a very, very tactful match here because I don't think either guy wants to experience the other's power. They're scared of each other's power. They respect each other's power. Sorry, not scared. And I think that's going to change the dynamic of this fight. It's not going to be a wide open, Donnybrook here, man. I think it's going to be very tactful, and I think it plays in the favor of Ryan that way. That he comes at you at weird angles, right? Unless you're in the ring with him and you see it and experience, you don't know until you're in the ring and experience it with him, right? And you got to be wary of that left hook. You got to be wary of that left hand and his right hand. I mean, this is just a really fun fight. Like either way, whoever wins or loses, it's not going to be surprising or shocking.
No.
But I am going with Ryan. I just feel that, I think he's the proverbial underdog in this only for the fact that everything is being stacked against him and he's accepted everything and you really want to see him win. Even right down to the rematch clause. Like Ryan doesn't have one, but Tank does if he loses.
Yeah. Well, he is the underdog because Vegas has been the underdog. So here's the betting lines of breaking down for everybody here. If Ryan Garcia is a plus 215 underdog, so you got to put $215 down on Tank to win 100 back. Put 100 down, you win 215 back on Garcia. The bet that I like that I think I'm going to be making 8-1 odds, so $100 pays you 800. Garcia to win by decision. That's how I think this fight's going to go down. But most people are saying Tank will knock him out. If you want to bet Tank to knock him out, it's a 2-3. So it's not very good odds. So basically, Vegas is saying Tank will knock him out. He's the favorite. They're not giving Garcia that much of a chance. I like 8-1 Garcia to win by decision.
What are the odds of Garcia knocking him out? Last I heard it was 340.
Got it right here.
Plus 340, right? Or has it gone up?
7-1.
7-1?
7-1. So the Vegas is basically saying Garcia's got a better chance of knocking him out than winning a decision. They're basically saying somebody's going down.
Okay. All right.
So
interesting. All right. So a lot of people are saying, I'm sure you've heard it. I'm sure our fans have heard it. I'm sure we've all heard it. The winner of this fight will become the face of boxing. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't think
so.
No.
Okay. Why don't you agree with it?
Well, this is their first big fight that each one of them have had. I think they need a few more big fights. Ryan almost is kind of a star. He's a likable guy. He's a good-looking kid. He's never been in trouble with the law. He's had some mental health, but he's pushed through that. On the other hand, you got Tank. He's not a very good guy. He's got that hit and run thing coming up on May 5th. He's got
the basketball.
He's got the allegations of smacking up his woman and stuff twice. He's not a likable guy. So here you got the villain, Tank, like Floyd Mayweather, abusing their women and doing all this stuff. And you got the good guy, the good Christian guy in Garcia. So it makes for a good fight, good versus bad, But I think Garcia, if he wins, will elevate into more of a star. Not the face of boxing, He's kind of like the next De La Hoya. He jabs like De La Hoya. He looks like De La Hoya. He dresses like De La Hoya. Of De La Hoya 25 years ago, of course.
Yeah.
But not the face of boxing. Canelo and Ferrer are still bigger.
Yeah. See, I was gonna go there with that. That's my take on it. Like when I look at who is the face of boxing, the first thing I did actually today was I looked at followers that these guys have. Right.
Yeah.
Canelo has more followers than both of them combined.
Yeah. Canelo's worldwide.
Canelo is the face of boxing, in my opinion, and maybe Tyson Fury to a certain extent, but more so Canelo, because Canelo, say what you want and everything, we've had our spirited little talks about Canelo on here, but the reality of it is when you have actual countries following you, when you sell out AT&T Stadium, or whatever it was, during the pandemic, 77,000 people in there, a handful of people bought that pay-per-view or were in that stadium for Billy Joe Saunders, right? But everyone else was there for Canelo. That to
Absolutely.
me,
Canelo's the biggest star. Him and
that to
Fury are the two
me,
biggest
yeah,
stars.
that to me is what constitutes the biggest, the face of boxing. Now, that being
The biggest
said,
draw for a live gate is Fury because he put 90,000 in Wembley Stadium.
right, right. But the
Supposed
fact
to.
is though, I think within North America, with the younger generation, with the casual crowd, if we can, right? We always
Yeah.
talk about the casual fan and whatnot. Well,
Mm-hmm.
guy, here's an event for the casual fan. This is the one that the casual fan is tuning into,
Absolute. Every
right?
casual fan's watching this, but I hear people
Right?
talking about this fight. They
I
don't even really watch it in the
people
gym.
exactly. People are coming up to me at work. They know we do what we
Yes.
do, and they're asking me. Normally, they
Yeah.
don't ask me about any fights, and there's a great fight every weekend,
Yes, dude. This is the kind.
right?
This will do a million. I think this can do a million pay-per-view buys. Now, speaking of that, this is on regular pay-per-view. They're talking about this today. It's on Showtime pay-per-view and on the Zone pay-per-view
Yeah,
joint
yeah,
venture for
yeah.
$84.99
You know what? I think this.
price.
I think they're gonna do maybe 700,000. I don't think it's gonna hit a million. Only why? This with all the streaming and everything else, and everyone else is
Yeah.
getting it for free. I mean, if none of that existed, yeah, this would be maybe 2 million buys. But in light of the world that we live in and what it is, you know, um, I don't see this getting over maybe 700,000.
I
But
think we
that's
can crack a million, but we're gonna find out. It's
well,
gonna
we'll
be
find
close.
out. We'll find out. But like I said, I'm sure there's going to be more than 300, 3 million people watching this thing. I'm
Oh yeah,
sure.
and dude, big people are coming to this fight. I was listening to it today. Patrick Mahomes is coming there. Travis Kelsey's coming there. Michael
Tyson.
Strahan's coming there.
Yeah,
Yeah, Tyson, he's
yeah,
in Vegas.
yeah,
Who
yeah.
else is there? Some big stars coming that don't usually come to the fights, but this is a well sought out fight that people want to see, right? So
Well, this is
it's pretty
it.
cool.
So I almost feel that you may not be the face of boxing, but I believe the person winning this will become some sort of face of North American boxing.
Maybe, but Tank is such an unlikable guy. He's such a bad guy. He's done a lot of bad stuff, and he's a great boxer. But I don't know if he can catch on. Garcia, if he wins, can definitely catch on.
Yeah, no. Garcia has a better chance of it as well, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Garcia has to win in order to do it because I guarantee, and you make a valid point, man. I mean, think about it. If Garcia wins, he's going to be on Kimball. He's going to
Oh
be
yeah,
be on Fallon. He'll be on Good Morning America the next
yeah,
day.
doing all
Blah
this
blah
stuff.
blah. You're promoting the fuck out of it. Tank, on the other hand, he might show up somewhere, but
Yeah, he's got
nowhere
court on
else,
May
right?
5th
Yeah,
coming up.
exactly,
It's
exactly,
out of
right?
control.
Exactly. So, I mean, I ask you this. I have my opinion, but who has more to lose in this fight, Tank or Ryan?
Tank.
Yeah.
With all the legal battles he's been through, and he's supposed to be like he is the favorite for this fight.
Separate all that. Separate all that, though.
Yeah, no,
Separate all the legal stuff,
Tank's
right?
got more to lose.
Yeah. I agree as well. Like I just look at it from the perspective. He's 28. He is two-time, technically. You can call him a two-time world champion.
Yeah.
He's beaten. He's finished 18 out of his
Oh,
19
he's
opponents,
power.
right?
Power is scary.
Power is absolutely amazing. I mean, take nothing away from them, but let's just take a look at these guys here right now. Davis, 28 years old, coming in at 5'5.5" with a 67.5 reach, 28-0, 26 KOs against Ryan Garcia, who is 24, 5'10" with a 70-inch reach, 23-0, 19 KOs.
4.5 inches, 4.5 inches on the height. He's got the reach, so he's got to use his height. He's got to use his length to keep, like I said, keep Tank on the outside. Don't let Tank come on the inside, because if Tank gets on the inside, Ryan's going nights.
Yeah, no, 100%. But I think he's aware of it. I mean, if we're talking,
oh, he's
about
aware
it,
of it. Absolutely,
right?
And
I think he's better than Rolly. I think he's better than Hector
oh yeah,
Garcia.
the
And that being said, I don't think it's gonna be that easy for Tank to get inside there that way. Right? Like, I mean, you look at how he knocked out Rolly and how he knocked, he left Garcia on the stool.
Mhm.
But it's just the way those guys fight. They left such a big window open, right? You're not going to get that from Ryan, right? Today, Ryan was saying in this one interview, I think it was with the Chris Maddox, I was listening to it, and I thought about it. He is right. Yeah, he got knocked down by Luke Campbell, and I think that's where a lot of people think that he's going to get knocked out because we've already seen him go down before, right?
Yeah.
And the way he explained that, like, I get it, you got caught, but he's learned from that experience, right?
Absolutely,
I mean, it was a really, really flush shot. It got him. It would have gotten anybody. Anybody would have gotten down from that.
That's why people are thinking Tank is going to knock him out
But
because
that's
of
the thing.
Luke Campbell. And
Exactly.
some people think Ryan's overrated. He's just a pretty boy. I'm not saying that. Like the next De La Hoya pretty boy, but he's not that good. He gasses out. He doesn't train as hard as he says. That's what the critics will say about him. That's why
Yeah.
they got Tank as the favorite. I'm
No,
not
no,
saying
no.
that's true,
I saw
but
this one side by side video of them, speed punching, or you know what I mean? Just working the mitts, but just the speed punching.
mhm.
I'll say this though, like watching it, like Ryan definitely has the speed.
Oh yeah, he's quick.
Like his
He's a quick
hands are
fighter.
super fast. Tank isn't as fast per se, but his technique looks better
Yeah,
in terms of
and he
what.
hits harder. He's
Well,
more
just side
crisp.
by side, the way they were showing it, like all I saw from Ryan was just a lot, right? Where Tank, you saw a little bit more, like he was going up and down every, he's uppercuts, hooks, everything involved, but super fast. I mean, technique wise, I'd have to say Tank has the better technique. Let's
Yeah, I
call it,
agree.
But that being said, I'm gonna stick with what I believe. I think this is gonna be Ryan Garcia's fight, man. I think so.
And how's he going to win it?
I don't want to say knockout. I like to see the knockout just for the just for the visual, just for the for
Yeah,
the articles and the interviews that would follow. I mean, I think it'd be a lot of fun, but I think he'd win a decision. I think it has to
yeah,
come,
that's what I'm hoping for.
But I think Ryan's gonna win. I just think he's gonna frustrate the shit out of him. There's a lot more on Tank's shoulders.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
everything is public, right? Like, okay, you got your catch weight, you got your dehydration. Poor bastard's got to weigh in a few hours before the fight. Like, come on, man. Like, to
because
normally
Garcia's such a bigger guy, right? He doesn't take any chances. He's stacking the deck against him, but that's what he's
Barrios was
doing. Right?
bigger.
Yeah, but this is a bigger name. This is a bigger fight.
Yeah, but still, you lose that. Come on. Even if Tank wins, there should be an asterisk beside his name.
Well, he's going by the rules, and Garcia did agree to it. But he's doing what Mayweather used to do. Mayweather used to do all these kind of tricks every fight he
Yeah,
had.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So
I'm not saying he's
he's not a
wrong.
good guy. He's not a
No.
good guy. He's a good boxer.
Well,
But
I mean,
like I said, even Garcia's popular because even the kids, I heard them talking about it at school today. Oh, you know that Ryan Garcia's fighting, and they just see him on YouTube. They see him on the shorts. They see him on Instagram. They know who he is. He's pretty popular.
no, he's marketed himself really, really
Yeah.
well, right? Like one of the companies in my building actually represents him as well.
Okay.
A part of his PR team. Like I don't know how many PR teams this guy has, but some of the guys, one of the companies in our building works with him. So I've been trying really hard to kind of build a connection there, and I'm working at it still. Hopefully, one day down the road we can figure something out. But yeah, you just look at it. I mean, I guess it helps that you don't have any criminal background, and you can appeal to this generation and mental health, right?
Yep.
Let's be honest. I mean,
Absolutely.
we're,
It's
we're
true.
living in a mental health generation. And it's the people who come out with their mental health and stuff are the ones who are applauded now, sort of video.
Yeah.
So, and nothing wrong with that. Good. If you need help, please get it.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's just appealing to a whole generation, and he's a good looking guy. Let's
That's
be
what I was
honest,
saying.
right?
He's like like De La Hoya was a good looking guy too in his prime.
Yeah,
People look what he look at him now. De La Hoya's 50, but when he's 25, same thing. The golden boy, good
yeah, yeah,
looking, dressed well, slick, won all
yeah,
these fights,
yeah,
exciting fighter.
yeah,
Garcia is the new De La Hoya, and it just so happens De La Hoya's his promoter. So a
yeah,
good
yeah.
find by De La Hoya here.
No, actually, it was kind of funny in the final presser today, and this is only as much as I got to. The exchange between De La Hoya and Eberle. Did you hear that at all today?
You hear Emily said about him after. We don't F with him. You don't F with us. And blah blah blah
I
blah
didn't
blah.
hear the afterwards. I just heard what they said to
That
each
was when
other,
Everly
right?
got Ellerby got him one-on-one interview. He didn't say it to him, but he said it after.
Yeah, yeah, but he did say to him, like, like stay under your truck or whatever, like fuck this, fuck that. Because I guess De La Hoya came out and said, yeah, your team is afraid of for you. You're gonna lose this fight because that's why you have all these clauses. And
That's
you
right.
know, it
De La
makes
Hoya is one
total
of my
sense.
growing up as a kid. De La Hoya is one of my favorite fighters. Like I really, really enjoyed him. He's a hell of a
Growing up
fighter.
as a kid, like I said, I was a haggler guy, but my dad would specifically make me sit there and watch every De La Hoya fight just
Yeah, he's a fun
because
fighter.
he loved the fact that he was a scientific boxer, he was a technical boxer, and he
Tough.
he was tough, yeah, but it
He's
was
a
just
pretty boy, but he's tough.
his skill set, right? Like he could box. Um, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I guess
one of the greatest ever. Like he's a golden boy, man. He's everybody knows who that guy is.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So call it then, man. What do you think?
Garcia by decision. I'm betting that too. Garcia winning by a split decision. I'm going to bet
Split
it at
decision.
8-1. Yeah.
8-1. All right. All right. So I will transfer you $100.
Okay.
Could you put 50 down on the 8-1
I can do that for you.
and
I'll give you $400.
put 50 down on the 7-1 for Ryan knocking him out?
You got it. We'll do
Yeah.
that.
All
Yeah.
right,
Oh, no
perfect. If
problem.
you could do that, that'd be amazing for me.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And then I'll transfer you that.
Hey, we're
and
putting
we'll
our money
sort
where our
that
mouth
out.
is. Either we're going to make a few bucks or we're going to lose, but either way, we're putting our money where our mouth is. Now,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. I wouldn't be shocked either if Tank not laid him on the floor. Like, it's not like we're saying this is a
No,
slam dunk. We're just
no,
telling you guys what we're betting, what we believe.
absolutely, absolutely. No,
Tank
like
is
I
no
said,
joke.
no, Tank is no joke. And like I said, if Ryan wins, I would not be surprised. If Tank wins, I won't be surprised either,
Yeah.
right? Like this is that kind of fight. Now, when I say I want to see the knockout, it's only because of the spectacle that it will
Oh,
create,
everybody wants to see that.
right? Right? Especially a guy like Tank, someone who's not supposed to go down, someone who's put everything against the other guy, sort of a deal. That's what I want to see it for. I mean, but at the end of the day, I won't be surprised if this ends quickly either. I mean, maybe we'll
I
see
hope
Tank.
not.
Well, no, because everyone keeps saying Tank's a slow starter. Tank's a slow starter. He's like Crawford. These guys, Crawford, Tank, those are the kind of boxers that are scariest because they will break you down in that first 3 or 4 rounds and then start. Okay, now I know what I'm dealing with, right? They're so confident and they're so good that they're willing to risk losing 4 rounds, knowing what they can do in 6. That's scary. That's an amazing skill set to have. So taking nothing away from them, but I don't know how beneficial it will be for Tank to take that much time.
I almost got a feeling that like you're saying, everybody's saying Tank's slow starter, Tank's slow starter. He hears that. I think he's going to come out firing, to be honest. That's to shut everybody up. Like, hey,
that's what I'm saying.
Come on, Garcia, you want it, boy? Let's go. I think he might come out just blistering.
That's
what I think.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying it. Like, so don't be I won't be surprised if this guy comes out, guns a blazing in the 1st 3 rounds. Now, if he can weather that though, then what? You know what I mean? Like, there's just endless possibilities.
I just hope it's an exciting fight because it's a big fight in boxing, the biggest fight we've had in a little bit here, and since probably Fury Wilder. And hopefully it's exciting, and the casual fans that are going to watch at the bar in the movie theater in the States or at Papa's house or whatever, that they get excited by it and can gain some new fans if they put on a good show here.
No, and and this is the right direction for boxing, and we got that started last month with Benavidez and Plant.
Absolutely. I'm actually for myself. I'm more excited. I know this is a bigger fight, but I'm more excited for the Haney Lomachenko fight myself.
No. See, in terms of fights, that's the actual fight.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about
that's for undisputed, man.
Well, that's undisputed. That's for undisputed. But again, we come back down to the purist and the boxing fan, not the casual fan.
Yeah.
That's the only difference.
And I was checking out the tickets today. Guess how much for Upper Deck if you want to sit at the Tank fight. And I'm talking Upper Deck the top the cement.
Yeah. I'm talking probably about $1,400 right now.
No, actually, no, 700.
Oh, okay, 700. While Lomo versus Haney, if you want to touch the same wall at
$100,
MGM,
$104. Yeah, see, at MGM, yeah,
at MGM.
It's that T-Mobile, but yeah, the bottom bowl is like $2,000, $3,000 for this fight. It's insane.
Yeah, no, but that's how they do it, though. It makes more sense. See, if they wanted to, you think by putting it in Allegiant or SoFi or a stadium like that, or AT&T, you think you're going to get more money as a gate, but in essence, you actually break this. You probably make the same amount as you would in T-Mobile.
Some of those seats, yeah.
Well, yeah, think about it. Like WrestleMania, when you went for SummerSlam,
$35 at the door,
right, at the upper bowl, all right.
Yeah, Allegiant. That's right.
Exactly. So you add all that up, but then again, if you think about it, like you said, if you want to touch a cement at T-Mobile this Saturday, it's $700, right?
Yeah, I know.
Where in essence, that's like 3 rows all the way around to Allegiant. So they're smart in putting it in the smaller venue. Obviously, I get it, but wouldn't it be more spectacular?
That'd be for aesthetics and everything. Yeah,
for the humanity.
I was listening to Steven Espinoza, that's the president of Showtime, and he actually said this is the second hardest fight that he's ever made to come together because they didn't trust each other. The De La Hoya thing, the promoter thing. He made it happen with other guys. The hardest fight that he ever had to put together, obviously, was Pacquiao Mayweather, right? But I said this is the second hardest fight he's ever put together. And he said Crawford and Spence should be happening in the fall, but not official, but they're getting it done.
Yeah, that's coming close to as well. I saw that
Yeah,
as well. Steven Espinosa, man, interesting cat that guy is.
he is. Yeah, I heard him talking today.
Well, it's kind of funny if you think about it. And this, he basically just outed himself, man. He outed that whole fucking problem with boxing with that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. The fight between Ryan and Tank itself was easy to make, but then again, Garcia made it really easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just shows you the hurdles were the promoters and the networks, not the fighters.
Yep, it can be. It can be.
It usually is 90%. Whenever it's these cross promotional shit, like, you know, think about it. You're dealing with Top Rank and Showtime for Deontay and whatnot. I'm sure the fight itself, well, no, Tyson's a bit of a bitch when it comes to making a fight these days. So,
Well, the guys like Mayweather and Fury, they always want these special clauses and who steps on the scale first and who's going to have the water bottle here. And they get like they're thinking we're the best in the world. You're going to do what I want. You won't fight me. They get in that mentality, and like Mayweather would do, it becomes hard to make the fight. Some of these guys, such egos.
so let's move on here really quickly. Then I want to touch on this. I think this is really interesting. So Joshua said after his fight against Franklin, yeah, I like to fight in July, you know, get something early. I want to fight 2 to 3 times this year. Then he comes out and says, you know what? I'm not gonna fight till December.
I knew he wasn't going to fight in July.
Right. But then the news drops, right? And now we're getting word from Saudi Arabia itself, from their commission and from their sport directors and whatnot, saying, yeah, they are negotiating this card in Saudi Arabia where the main event would be Tyson against Usyk, and
Fury
the
Wilder.
co-main event will be
Wilder Joshua.
Wilder Joshua.
I'll tell you right now, if that happens, it'll be maybe the biggest boxing card ever, or one of them.
Well,
and I'm telling you right now, Deontay Wilder will knock Anthony Joshua into the third row. I don't think he lasts 4 rounds. He's going to get demolished. They'll get creamed. The Wilder hits too hard, man. Joshua, he's going down. I understand Josh might be a little boxer. It doesn't matter. He won't be able to stand that power. Joshua's not knocking guys down anymore.
No,
lost a lot of power, but
look,
I'll be betting Wilder on that one.
I think having a bit more time with Derek James is going to improve him, but you can't dispel his power. I get it. But outside of Tyson Fury, I think this would be the second hardest fight for Deontay.
Oh, yeah. No,
right?
Yeah.
Well, no. Compared to everyone else he's fought up until now, right? I mean, take nothing away from Ortiz, take nothing away from any of the guys he's fought, right? Like, I mean, at the end of the day, his hardest fight was Wilder, or his hardest fight was Fury, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
We saw that. I think the second hardest fight he would encounter would be Joshua, even the way Joshua is now. But let's see. I don't know.
Speaking of that, Fury's got a big announcement coming up here. He's fighting in the summer.
He's probably going to fight Andy, right?
Tune-up fight.
Well, I mean, it makes sense because I mean, technically, Deontay and Andy are supposed to be fighting. So that's I mean, both those guys had the eliminators, right? So
now we know why Fury and Usyk ain't happening. They're waiting to December to fight in that big stadium.
Well, that's what it was.
No, we know that, but everybody's saying, "Oh, Fury's not scared of the guy half his size. He's not scared."
No, he's not. But I think it's just being greedy for a guy who says he doesn't care about the money and everything like that. Like he always says it. It's not about money. I don't need money. Blah blah blah. But it always comes down to money with him.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. Like, they all care about it. It's prize fighting.
Right?
Even they say they don't. They care about it.
No, I mean, I knew this from the get-go. This is the reason. At first I thought, okay, this guy's being, stupid. This guy's being unreasonable. But then I heard that the stadium that they wanted to use in Saudi wasn't completed yet, right?
Yeah.
Vegas cannot afford this fight. The UK cannot afford this fight for the amount of money, but the amount of money that's being asked for. So it has to be Saudi. The stadium they want to use isn't ready. It won't be ready till December. Hence, here we are, and that's what's going to
take four of the biggest guys in the sport and put them on the same card. It's a brilliant move.
It's a brilliant move, and that's the only place that can do it. And and I've talked to some people in Vegas, and the consensus is that if Saudi keeps pulling these moves, Vegas, New York,
pack your bags. We're going to go to Saudi Arabia for fights, pretty much the big one.
It's turning out to be that way, right? Like a lot of these guys are going down there to do their. Why do you think? Why would Deontay Wilder be in Saudi Arabia for the Jake Paul fight?
Yeah, he's cutting deals, making business decisions.
Right? Yeah, right. So I mean, they're all there for that. The Tommy Fury.
Yeah. When
Yeah,
he,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. When he fought Tommy, sorry, pardon me.
yeah,
Um, so I mean, it just makes sense. Like these guys aren't stupid. This is where the money is. I know that Haiti wanted to fight Lobo in Saudi, right?
yeah. I heard
Why
about
would Haiti be there? Like, why would anyone have any interest in Jake Paul versus
Fury.
Tommy Fury? Right now it's all
Yeah,
coming together. The pieces are falling into place. You're seeing what's going on. If Haiti had his way, that fight would have been happening in Saudi this time.
yeah, yeah. Old man Bob said, "No, no, you doing it here," but I'm glad they're doing it in Vegas myself.
No, 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 no. That's fine. I
Yeah,
get it, right? I know what Bob's trying to do. Like in this day and age, like they're selling that pay-per-view for $60,
yeah, which is a
right?
fair price.
Which is the reasonable price. They want to ensure, like, yeah, you might make more money at a $90 pay-per-view, but you'll have more buys at a $60 pay-per-view, right?
Absolutely.
It's like the
Yeah,
two gas stations. One station selling gas for 199. Yeah, people are going there, but the across the street is selling it for 180,
yeah.
right? So it's just it is what it is, man. Um, all right, man. I tell you what, I think that's been everything we need to talk about here. We've covered pretty much everything. Is there anything you got, man?
I do. I got it this day in boxing history. 21 years ago today, Mr. Floyd Mayweather beat Luis. Oh, I'll say that again. Luis Castillo in his most controversial fight ever. People say it was a draw. Some people say Castillo won. I thought he did, but 21 years ago today, MGM Grand, Mayweather stays undefeated, but it was controversial. People go back and watch that fight. I thought Castillo won, but they had a rematch. Mayweather absolutely obliterated him. But the fight number one, you could the way you score it, you could. I thought it was 7-5 for Castillo, but the judges
Yeah,
gave it Mayweather. Mayweather got so many decisions gifted to him.
yeah. Well, I mean, at least five that I know of,
Yeah, and
right?
it's very so.
Pacquiao updates, sightings, anything you know?
I think he's going to do with Ben, man, in the fall or in the spring. Bob Arum came out and said, "Oh, it's sort of sad he's still fighting." But what Bob doesn't get, he's not doing it for the money. Of course, a couple mil don't hurt. He's doing it because in his mind, he keeps saying, "I love to train. I'm 44, but I feel like I'm 30. I feel like I'm 20. I want to fight. I'm still training." He wants to fight somebody who's active, competitive. Ben's no joke. He's never lost. The guy's juiced to the gills. So I mean, like,
Nice,
it's
juice
going to
to
go
the
down in Saudi
gills.
Arabia if it
He's
does
never
happen.
lost, and he's never
Never
really
lost.
fought anybody that could beat him. So
And Ben's like, you know what? If I can retire this guy, retire legend, and put him in the old folks home, he'll do it, right? So, Pocky wants to fight Spence and Crawford. They don't want to fight him because they said it'll be like when they beat up Muhammad Ali. But they won't be. Even if Pocky loses, they're not going to damage him like that. He wouldn't come back and humiliate himself. He's in good shape. I'm not saying that he'll win, but he won't be like they think they're going to just bully him and knock him down and toy with him. It won't happen like that.
well, I guess we don't know
Ben's had the fight.
until
I was at the fight, but because he got that eye thing, they didn't fight, right? So
well, I look at it this way. I figure we won't know what we have in Manny until he comes to the ring and shows us,
absolutely, you never know.
right? You never know. I mean, if guys like Virgil Ortiz can still be doing it at the heavyweight level, and nobody
Mm-hmm.
knows how old he is per se, right? I mean,
Yeah,
you look at it, you think about a lot of these guys like Joey Joyce. I didn't realize he was 37,
yeah, he's 15-0. Isn't
right?
it a lot of fights, right?
There, but that's the thing. You're 37. Like I didn't even realize that. So, is the age of boxers, changing now? Like they
A
say,
little bit. They're getting a little
for
bit on their late 30s and early
it's
40s. Like
like
Pocky won a world
40s,
title at 40. I
right?
was
Like
there.
they say 40s is the new 20, and blah
Yeah,
blah 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 blah. So I mean, are we going to see this trend of athletes, especially the younger guys? Like Ryan will probably fight until he's 50
yeah.
and
Look
still
at
look
Tom Brady,
good.
45, 46, playing football. These guys are training better, they're eating better now, so they can prolong their career a little bit.
Well,
I
it's
was
like
there when Pocky won the belt off Thurman, knocked him down, 40 years old. Like
yeah,
first
yeah,
round,
yeah.
boom, you're down. I was like, holy crap, place went nuts. They
All
said, oh,
right,
he's an old man. Thurman will bully him. No, no, didn't happen
yeah.
like that. So you just never know.
No,
But
no,
maybe he'll
you
look
never
slow
know.
as a slug. Who knows, right?
Well, let's find out, man. We will find out. Hey, your Oilers, man, tied up 1-1. Are you okay with that? Are you concerned?
No, I'm not concerned. I mean, Skinner let some weak goals in. He's got to be better. He's let a couple in, the flubber through his leg. One came on the side of the skate he should have had. They always teach you take your skate right in the post. He's made a couple. I hear that on my kids' little league hockey. But no, I'm not worried about it. Kings are a tough team. They're young. They're hungry. They got some veterans too. So Oilers probably take them down in 7. But man, they got to play hard, man. Next 2 games
That's
in
tough.
LA.
It
So
always makes me wonder, like, Oilers have everything except goaltending. It
every
seems
year.
to be the
Last year was
story.
Mike Smith. Same thing. He was
Yeah,
old and
yeah.
slow. Now we got Stuart Skinner. That's shaky.
I don't know, man. It's a different beast out there.
Yeah.
All right, Chance, I tell you what, let's sleep. Let's get rested and let's get ready for this fight. The undercard is pretty cool too. Do
Yep.
you unfortunately I don't have any information on it, but I tell you what, you guys, the whole night's gonna be great. I promise. I think this is gonna be one of those fights that you have to watch. Hopefully it delivers.
I
Hopefully it
hope so.
delivers,
I hope
right?
so. I think it will.
Right? Like, I mean, the last thing I need to hear that at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, oh, Garcia weighed 147 pounds and now he
I
can't
know.
fight,
Fights off. I know.
right? But I don't think they can do that here. They can't. Too much money is being
No,
spent,
no, they'll make he'll make the weight. There's
right?
too much on the line here. All the big stars are coming,
Yeah.
so
Now, I guess let me ask you this: do you think the dehydration clause and being able, to maintain that, like you're completely wrecking the kid's routine, right? I'm not
that's
saying he's
exactly that's why they're doing it.
like, I'm not saying he's gonna go to fucking Burger King and grab a couple Whoppers after the weigh-in or anything like that. But I don't know.
It's kind of they're smart because they knew that he'd come in at 150, 160 when the fight came, right? It's like, nope, you got to be within the 10-pound limit. So don't come in past 146
And he's claiming though that for all
and
his
he's
fights,
5'10".
anyways.
People forget Shamonti's only 5'5". That's a little guy.
No, no, no. I get that, man. He's a little fucking bulldozer, that guy,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
Like,
he's a stuff his nails, but yeah. So
he
that's
is,
probably why
right?
he doesn't want to fight a 5'10", 160 pound guy when at most Tank will weigh 145 at 5'5".
In all the interviews I've seen and everything, no one has asked Tank what was the difference between him and Barrios.
Yeah, nobody's asked it yet.
Right.
More skill,
And that's why
younger.
people need to listen to Samp&Chance because we ask those questions, man.
We had an interview with him, we would ask him that. Yeah.
Right. All right. On that note,
I got one
everybody,
more for you.
yeah,
If you could pick one interview for boxers or promoters that are still alive, you could have one dream interview right now for guys still alive. Who would you interview?
I would talk to Bob Arum
Yeah, me too. I was gonna say that
without
too.
question, only because of the history and everything.
And he doesn't have much time left at 91.
And he doesn't have much time left at 91. I mean, knock on wood. I hope he's around
I
for a
hope
long time. But I mean, I would want to talk to like Emmanuel Stewart. I'd want to talk and the closest thing to Hagler, to Stewart, to any of the guys that I want to talk to from yesterday that are not with us, it'd have to be Bob Arum because he worked with all of them.
The greatest boxing promoter of all time, and it's not even close. At 91, he's still kicking butt. So it's amazing.
That makes me wonder why fucking
You heard
Dana
what
White.
Stitch said about him. He said he's a
Yeah,
great
yeah,
guy.
yeah. Why does Dana hate him? Or is this Dana a bitter bitch?
Bob will take some shots. They don't really like UFC. It's barbaric, and it's a competition thing.
I
They're
get it,
both in Vegas.
yeah, but Aaron's old. How can you attack an old man who comes from an old, double old
Well,
school values?
this was, and Dana White's not joking when he said this to Vince about 10, 15 years ago. Vince wanted to fight him for real. They're friends.
Yeah.
This was like a spectacle. But Dana didn't want to do it. He's like, you crazy guy. Vince would have been in like, 60 then? He would have done it.
Yeah.
Imagine that pay-per-view.
Oh, it'd be awesome.
Dana would beat his ass, though. He's just so much younger.
Yeah.
Vince is crazy, man. He
Wow.
would do it because it's best for business. He'd get his butt kicked in a cage to sell pay-per-views. That's how crazy. That's Vince lives it, man. He's an animal.
Yeah, no, you're right. If he's willing to bleed for the company, then no one has an excuse, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
that's the way I look at it. And just the way we are, we bleed for this podcast, and we're here to give you the best take that we possibly can. All right, so we're gonna wrap this one up. I'm saying Garcia by decision. You're saying the same.
I'm with you on that.
All right, so we're both on
down.
that. Now, that being said, we are not going to be surprised if it's the other way around by decision or knockout. Just know this is just our take. This is what we think. You've got the money lines. We got everything we need. All we have to do now is make it to Saturday night, get a bowl of popcorn, your favorite beverage, sit back and relax and watch the shenanigans unfold. Guys, I'm Bobby Sampson. Join with me with my man, Mr. Chance Michaels.
And in the words of the great AC/DC, those that like, download, subscribe to the podcast, we salute you.
We do salute you. And in the words of the infamous Ed Whalen, in the meantime and in between time, that's it for Samp&Chance. Guys, have the best rest of your week. Be safe this weekend, and we will be back at you guys on Tuesday. Everyone, have a great evening. Good night.